Operator, well, could you help me place this call? See, the number on the matchbook is old and faded. She's living in LA with my best old ex-friend Ray. Gosh, she said she knew well and sometimes hated. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm finding a show. I overcome the blow, I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real, but that's not the way it feels. Operator, well, could you help me place this call? 'Cause I can't read the number that you just gave me. There's something in my eyes, you know it happens every time. I think about the love that I thought would save me. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can't find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm finding a show. I overcome the blow, I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real, but that's not the way it feels. No, 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 that's not the way it feels. Operator, oh, let's forget about this call. There's no one there I really wanted to talk to. So thank you for your time. You've been so much more than kind. You can keep the dime. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can't find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm finding a show. I overcome the blow, I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real, but that's not the way it feels. Something to see you all turning around like that. I think it would make everybody have to take Dramamines. Everybody's moving around. I think a couple more weeks on one of these stages and we'll be ready for the next Apollo flight. I feel like I'm in 2001. The first night it was really something. It's like, you look down at the guitar neck sometimes, and when you do, and you see everything moving around, you get this motion sickness thing happening. And I barely made it off. I said, well, I'll try it the next night and see what happens. But in my back pocket, the second night, I had one of those air sickness bags, just in case. But that would be a fabulous first, wouldn't it? Spinning around. This song here is a thing it took me 5 years to really get all organized. See, words are very powerful things, the way I look at them, and if I would have used the words I wanted to use originally in this song, the woman's husband would have broken both of my legs. It's a song about a lady that lives out near us. She's a school bus driver, about as big as a fire plug, and she's got a hairdo on her about that high. And you ever seen those Mexican movies where Pancho Villa and all the guys have the bullets across their chest? That's the way she has Kansas spring net. I mean, I call her the helmet head, because of this great big hairdo. She looks like she's wearing a drum majorette's hat. And she's really a lot of fun to be around. But she used to be a roller derby lady in Texas, until she fell in love with and married a state trooper. And, I mean, the two of them, I'd put them up against anybody. I mean, they are really the couple. They could be a tag team combination in a wrestling match. She's really, really a gem. It took a couple experiences, though, to get the song out. I was shy, you know, I was feeling all these things, I better not say it. No, I want to. I didn't know what to do, so I took a day off and went down to New Jersey, Atlantic City, and sat down on the beach one day with a couple of quarts of Ripple wine. Ripple is really, it's not top drawer, you know. It's about 39 cents a quart. It's got the distinction of being the only wine in America that's never seen a grape. It's made by DuPont. It's a chemical byproduct of airplane glue, I think. And you drink it, and after the second, so you can't even drink it out of a glass. I mean, that's the kind of thing, to do that, it just wouldn't be right. Ripple has to be, the way to drink Ripple is inside of a bag. You know, and it's just one of those kind of wines. So I got the first two verses done that afternoon before I woke up with sand in this ear and a sunburn like you wouldn't believe on this side of my head. I didn't know whether to put Noxzema or Neatswood oil on it. I felt like a catcher's mitt. You know, like when you stay out in the sun too long, you get all cracked. And, oh, it looked like a pizza, this whole side of my face. But I was still stuck in the middle of the song, and I didn't know what to do. So I just said, oh, I'll forget about it for a while. And then we went out to San Francisco a couple months ago and finished a show early one night. And I said, oh, we'll go back to the room, watch TV. And we turned the tube on and ordered room service. Now you remember a couple years ago there was that big scandal with the Bon Vivant Vichyssoise, and the people were eating it and dying? And well, the soup company went out of business, and now they make pie. Up to the room come these two pieces of pie with the Lucretia Borgia dressing on them. The guy comes in and he opens up his poison ring, shakes out this stuff on top of the pie, and we eat it, not knowing any better. About a half an hour later, as we're watching the Late Show, we both kind of looked at each other and made that sound that it was going to start happening. And the rest of that evening was just like phone calls from the front desk saying, you know, you're not allowed to have seals in the room. One's got an arm around the toilet and one around the sink, you know, just going, Then the sound that old car makes when you try to start it out. It was a real experience. The next day I thought I'd like to die. Figured that might as well leave as a legacy the last verse to this song. And somebody came along with medicine and cured us and ended up with a song out of it. So I fell in love with the roller derby queen. I'm gonna tell you a story that you won't believe. But I fell in love last Friday evening with the girl I saw on her ballroom TV screen. Well, I was just getting ready to get my hair when she caught my eye, and I put it back and I ordered myself a couple of more shots and beers. The night that I fell in love with a roller derby queen, around and round, oh round and round, the meanest hungry woman that anybody ever seen. Down in the arena she was 5'6", 215, a bleach blonde bomber with a streak of mean. She knew how to knuckle and she knew how to scuffle and fight. And the roller derby program said that she was built like a refrigerator with her head. Her fans called her Duffy, but all her buddies called her Spike. The night that I fell in love with a roller derby queen, around a woman that anybody ever seen down in the arena. Well, I could not help it but to fall in love with this heavy-duty woman I've been speaking of. Things were kind of bad until the day she skated into my life. Well, she might be nasty, she might be fat, but I never met a person who could tell that. She's my bleach blonde mama, my heavy-handed Hackensack mama. The night that I fell in love with a roller derby queen, around and round, oh round and round, the meanest hungry woman that anybody ever seen down in the arena. This is an old one I dug up the other day. I hadn't thought about this song since I was about 15 years old and had a blind date with a girl that was about 450 pounds. Good time music. It's an old song. It goes back to around 1890. It was a song that Sophie Tucker used to do. But I thought about it after meeting someone that weighed about 450. Like, to me, when I was going out on blind dates, you know, beggars can't be choosers, they say. I used to figure 350 pounds is still a nice person. 400, they become a place. So I went out with a lot of places. But if she could make a joke out of it, I can. You know, I get a big kick out of the whole attitude behind the song. And the title is self-explanatory. It's inside the song. It can be any bunch of lines in there, but it's a good old-time thing. Nobody loves a fat girl, but oh, how a fat girl can love. That's the title. Nobody seems to want me. I'm just the truck up on the highway of love. I'm all alone on account of my phone, when every ounce of me is trying to keep somebody warm. Nobody loves a fat girl, but oh, how a fat girl can love. I said nobody loves a little old, rotund little fat girl, but oh, how a fat girl she can love. Nobody seems to want me. I'm just a truck up on the highway of love. Why, the only game I can get the boys to play is to have them sit around and try to guess how much I weigh. Nobody loves a fat girl, but oh, how a fat girl can love. Birthday mama, oh, how a fat girl can love. Just a truck upon the highway of love. That just brought back a memory. The past couple years, I've been driving a truck. It's kind of a different experience. I called it character development. And those 15-gear gravel trucks, hauling crushed stone out of quarries. And then when I wasn't doing that, I was learning the meaning of grace, running a jackhammer out on a sidewalk. That teaches you patience. You know, you try to get through a concrete curb with one of those things, and they're just bouncing up and down. Just you feel like cottage cheese by the time you're done. But driving the truck was a lot of fun because, you know, I was still around the area most of the time. Didn't have too many really long hauls. I used to stop in the truck stops there where the guys would come in. They were hauling like fresh fruits and vegetables from Florida up to maybe New England. And they got to do it fast. And they have to drive maybe 40 hours at a clip. And you know it's very hard to stay up 40 hours. You can't stay awake. Even if you drink a lot of coffee, you just end up with stomach troubles. The truckers have a way around that problem. They take these little pills, some of them, that are called uppers. That's what they call them. Bennies. Second drivers. West Coast turnarounds. West Coast turnaround means you can take one in Newark, drive all the way across the country, turn around and come back without stopping. Just whoosh, whoosh. They cut a broomstick off about that long and wedge it down on the throttle pedal. Once they get past the mountains in Pennsylvania and before they hit the Rockies, they get the thing up to about 70 miles an hour and wedge this broomstick down on the throttle pedal and then kick it against the seat so they have an extra foot to dance with. The pills have a legend of making you do twice the work in half the time. You know, they really get the guys wired. I've seen them sit out in a parking lot and take one of them and say, as they're washing it down with black coffee, what's good for the sick is better for the well. You know, that's a line for just about everything. And they go storming across the country listening to Dave Dudley on the 8-track and WWBA on the radio at the same time. I don't know if you ever hear WWBA. Anybody that drives at night has heard them. If you don't know the station, you probably heard the ads where they sell a 500 live baby chicks for $2.99. You don't have any need for 500 live baby chicks. I don't either. But if there's anybody you've been thinking about in somewhat of a negative way, they do make a really fun gift. For $2.99, they're going to open up their door in a little efficiency apartment somewhere and find 500 chickens in a cardboard box with a soggy bottom. Yeah, they're going to take it in and lift it up and mess up the rug. The chickens are going to be running all over the place, half crazy, and they grow, you know, in shipment. It takes 2 weeks to get there, so they're pretty good size. Chickens grow fast. And plus, you know, in addition to getting their vengeance out by sending them these chickens, you can have a lot of fun because they will send you a country and western tablecloth with Tex Ritter's picture on it, so you can have dinner with Tex at night. They'll send you a Bible calendar. They'll tell you what day of the week your birthday is going to fall on for the next 2,500 years. It's a very useful thing. And they'll send you an autographed picture of the Last Supper. This is a thing called Speedball Tucker, all about the truck drivers. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I drive a broke-down rig on made-pop tires, 40 foot of overload. A lot of people say that I'm crazy because I don't know how to take it slow. I got a broomstick on the throttle, I got a rope end up and it'll ride down. Non-stop back to Dallas, on some them West Coast turnarounds. And they call me Speedball Tucker, terror of the highway. And all them other truckers will tell you that the boy is mad to be driving in a rig like that. You know the rain may blow, the snow may snow, and the turnpikes they may freeze, but they don't bother old Speedball. He go in any damn way he please. He got his broomstick on the throttle to keep his throttle full of dancing round, with a cup full of cold black coffee and a pocket full of West Coast turnarounds. And they call it Speedball Tucker, terror of the highway. And all them other truckers could tell you that the boy is mad to be driving in a rig like that. One day I looked into my rearview mirror, and coming up from behind, there was a Georgia state policeman and $100 fine. Well, he looked me in the eyes, he was writing me up. He said, "Driver, you've been blind. 'cause 95 is the route you were on. It was not the speed limit sign. And they call me Speedball, Speedball Tucker, terror of the highway. And all them other truckers will tell you that the boy is mad to be driving in a wreck like that. Yeah, they call me Speedball, Speedball Tucker, terror of the highway. And all them other truckers will tell you that the boy is mad to be driving in a wreck like that. Things were spinning round me, and all my thoughts were cloudy, and I had begun to doubt all the things that were me. Been in so many places, you know I've run so many races, looked into the empty faces of the people of the night. Well, something is just not right, and I know that I gotta get out of here. I'm so alone. Don't you know that I gotta get out of here, 'cause New York's not my home. Though all the streets are crowded, there's something strange about it. I lived there about a year and I never once felt at home. I thought I'd make the big time. I learned a lot of lessons awful quick, and now I'm telling you that they were not the nice kind. And it's been so long since I have felt fine. That's the reason that I gotta get out of here. I'm so alone. Don't you know that I gotta get out of here, 'cause New York's not my home. It's the reason that I gotta get out of here. I'm so alone. Don't you know that I gotta get out of here, 'cause New York's not my home. Thank you very much. This is a song that came out of an experience, boy girl kind of thing, love experience. A girl I knew in Georgia. I was down in Georgia, near Georgia. I was in South Carolina when I was in the Army. I'd gotten out of the university, you know, in 1965. Had taken all those courses that had left me totally prepared for life in the 12th century. I'm going to get a big job. I'm going to get myself an industrial management position. Looked in all the papers and started filling out ads and got this letter one day, brown letter, signed Department of the Army up in the corner. I ended up at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I can say I could talk for hours about Fort Jackson. It's just one legend about it that everybody that's been there seems to perpetuate. That's, if they ever wanted to give the world an enema, that's where they put the tube. That's what they say, you know. But the song is called Walking Back to Georgia. I'm walking back to Georgia, and I hope she will take me back. Nothing in my pockets, and all I own is upon my back. Well, she's the girl who said she loved me on that hot, dusty Macon road. And if she's still around, I'm gonna settle down with that hard-loving Georgia girl. I'm walking back to Georgia, well, she's the only one who knows how it feels when you lose a dream, and how it feels when you dream alone. But she's the girl who said she loved me on that hot, dusty Macon road. And if she's still around, I'm gonna settle down with that hard-loving Georgia girl. Georgia, can you hear me calling? Oh, I'll be home in just a while. And if I had to, I'd be crawling just to share another morning smile. But you're the girl who said you loved me all that hot, dusty long ago. And if you're still around, I'm gonna settle down with you, my hard-loving Georgia girl. Cause I'm walking back to Georgia, and I hope she will take me back. Nothing in my pockets, and all I own is upon my back. She's the girl who said that she loved me on that hot, dusty Macon road. And if she's still around, I'm gonna settle down with that hard-loving Georgia girl. Uptown got its hustlers, the Bowery got its bumps, 42nd Street got Big Jim Walker, he's a bull shooting son of a gun. Yeah, he's big and dumb as a man can come, but he's stronger than a country horse. And when the bad folks all get together at night, you know they all call Big Jim boss, just because. You see, you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't speed into the wind, you don't poke the mouse cop, the old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. Well, out of South Alabama come a country boy. He said, I'm looking for a man named Jim. I am a bull shooting boy, my name is Willie McCoy, but down home they call me Slim. Yeah, I'm looking for the king of 42nd Street. He drive on a drop-top Cadillac. Last week he took all my money, and it may sound funny, but I come to get my money back. And everybody say, Jack, don't you know that you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't speed into the wind, you don't poke the mask off the old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. Ba-do-do-da-da-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Well, a hush fell over the pool room as Jimmy come by in an awful street. And when the cutting was done, the only part that wasn't bloody was the soles of the big man's feet. Yeah, he was cut in about 100 places, and he was shot in a couple more. And you better believe it's on a different kind of story when the Big Jim hit the road. Now they say you don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't speed into the wind. You don't pull the mask off old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Slim. Yeah, Big Jim got his hat. Find out where's that is not hustling people strange to you. Even if you do got a two-piece custom-made full cue. Yeah, you don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't speed into the wind. You don't pull the mask off old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Slim. Introduce my band. We've been working together about 2 years. We've been playing now, in front of a lot of people. It's more of a very recent thing. About 2 years ago, we were just playing in the evenings. He was working in a meat packing plant, and I was driving a truck. He's from Trenton, New Jersey. Maury Muehleisen. Hello, everybody. Wizard. We just came back from England last week, and the people were saying, how do you get that street talk? You don't mess around, you just cut in 1,000 times. You know, that was get to be very interesting. They didn't understand the idea of shooting pool because they play billiards over there. Yeah, it's different. They said, how did you learn to speak that kind of English? I said, well, when you go to school around places where kids come up to you and say, let me hold you a dime, Jack, or I'm going to cut you 4 kinds of ways. Long, deep, wide, and often. Pretty soon, that's the kind of English that you learn to talk, you know. And I used to talk like that all the time. Back in the South Philadelphia days, when American Bandstand was on the air, and I was walking around with one of those hairdos that come out like that. Looked like an inverted rhinoceros horn. Just like that. It was a lot of fun. Everyone go to American Bandstand and dance around. But in order, you know, to take a girl out, like today you can say, we're going to go to a fancy restaurant. And if somebody wants to go out to a fancy restaurant, they'll go out with you. Back then, it wasn't so. You had to have a really interesting car. My friend had a 53 Oldsmobile with a top that wouldn't go up. We'd just take it out in the summertime. Listen to the weather forecast. You had to have a good radio, and if you really wanted to do good, when you lifted up the hood on the car, it had to be all chrome. Remember that? Everybody would practice their James Dean look in front of the mirror and go out and send to the J.C. Whitney catalog for chrome parts for their cars. So many people sent for those catalogs years ago that now I think half the world is on the mailing list. Mention us to your friends. But we didn't have cars. I don't know, I was about 15 years old. The guys that did have cars didn't have the money to buy those chrome parts because they're expensive. Yeah, they're $35, $40 for a piece of chrome. So, like in every other big city, they would go to the Midnight Auto Supply. A friend of mine, Nicky, used to run one. With a screwdriver in his back pocket. He could get the pieces off a car where you'd think that it had just come off the assembly line in so many pieces. It was really an experience to watch him work. Hubcaps would just fly off. And all you'd have to do is get the catalog, point out the part that you wanted, and tell them where the part lived. Hey, Nicky, there's a really nice set of mag wheels that live on 2nd Street on Joey's 57 Chevy. And before you know it, the mag wheels would mysteriously appear on your front porch about 2 o'clock in the morning. And the other guy'd wake up in the morning and try to drive his car away on cinder blocks. The cinder block tire, the one that never wears out, you know. But as a favor to this guy, Nicky, one time, I ended up going out on a blind date with his cousin. And I just think about it, and I get goose pimples. Because it was one of those things that for a couple weeks it had been set up. And he kept telling me things like, oh, she's got a nice personality. And now I'm starting to get really scared. He said, oh, she's got peaches and cream complexion, pretty black hair. Mm-hmm. But she's a little heavy. And here we go driving down through South Philadelphia. Excuse me, it's about 100 degrees, steaming hot in like August. The 53-year-olds with the top that won't come up. He picks up his girlfriend first. I'm sitting in the back. We get in front of her house. Her name was Carmela. His cousin Carmela. Get up out of the car and get, you know those vinyl seat covers? The clear plastic ones? Just like, as the shirt comes off the back. They're all sticky and everything. I walk in the house, and his uncle was there. His name was Meatball Pellegrini. I can't forget him, because he had one of those looks too, you know? And he must have had a bad day. He had a butcher shop down on 9th Street, and he must have got an extra load of chickens in. Because he'd worked late, he looked mean, still had blood under his fingernails. He was just scrunching up the racing form, looking at me like that. I says, I didn't think about that too long, because I knew I was in heavy trouble. I looked around the house after I got past this initial stare that he gave me, and there wasn't any steps. It was like ramps and chain hoists and pulleys, and levers, you know, hand trucks, dollies, all the things you see around places where they're unloading trucks. And like down through the ceiling, one of these sling harnesses with a hook in the back, comes Carmela, the place. You know? She's probably working for Monroe, the shock absorber company, as the load. And I was so embarrassed, because like for the rest of the summer, and then we got back into school, everybody saying, hey, did you see Croce riding down the street with Carmela, you know? 2 front wheels off the ground and one of them flat in the back. She's sitting back there in the car saying tilt on the side. But like now we live in a different kind of place. The status is a different, whole different scene. You gotta have a fast car, like stock car drivers, because we live out in the country in pickup truck territory, where the guys got those gun racks in the back window, you know? Some of them even going overboard and put them on their lawnmowers. You know, it's weird. But we go up to the track on Sunday afternoon and watch these guys, and wrote a song about the guys that try to impress their girls sitting there drinking an RC Cola and eat a Powerhouse candy bar with a wad of tobacco in this side of their mouth. It's called Rapid Roy, the stock car boy. Stock car boy, he ain't too much to believe. You know he always got an extra pack of cigarettes rolled up in his t-shirt sleeve. He's got a tattoo on his arm that say baby. He's got another one that just say hey. But every Sunday afternoon he is a dirt track demon in his 57 Chevrolet. It is a Rapid Roy, that stock car boy. He's the best driver in the land. You know he said that he learned to race a stock car by running shine out of Alabama. Oh, the demolition derby and the figure 8 is easy money in the bank, compared to running from the man in Oklahoma City with a 500-gallon tank. It is a Rapid Roy, that stock car boy. He ain't too much to believe. You know he always got an extra pack of cigarettes rolled up in his t-shirt sleeve. He's got a tattoo on his arm that say baby. He's got another one that just say hey. But every Sunday afternoon he is a dirt track demon in his 57 Chevrolet. Take it, Chuck. Hey, Roy's so cool, that racing fool. He don't know what fear's about. He do 130 miles an hour, smiling at the camera with a toothpick in his mouth. He's got a girl back home, name of Dixie Dawn, but he's got honeys all along the way. And you ought to hear them screaming for the dirt track demon in his 57 Chevrolet. And it's a Rapid Roy, that stock car boy. He ain't too much to believe. You know he always got an extra pack of cigarettes rolled up in his t-shirt sleeve. He's got a tattoo on his arm that says baby. He got another woman just say hey. But every Sunday afternoon he is a dirt track demon in his 57 Chevrolet.